Welcome to Naveen AutomationLabs, guys. Please subscribe to this channel and press the bell icon to get some interesting videos on Selenium and automation. Welcome back. Welcome, guys. So, guys, this is the session for part 3, that's for REST Web Services Automation. We have already seen the architecture and through some manual things also we have done through the Postman. We have seen that, okay, how can we call the get call, post, put, and delete calls. So today let's try some code, and in this particular session we will cover that how to automate get call. Okay, so in the next session we will see how to automate post call, put, and delete call in the different sessions. But today in this particular session, let's concentrate on how to call a particular get call by using Java code. Okay, so by using Java APIs, how to call get API. Okay, so in this particular topic, we will be covering that first. We need couple of libraries, that HTTP Client library and JSON Parser library, and then we will see that, okay, how to call get APIs with headers and how to call get APIs without headers. Okay, and then how to parse the JSON object, because ultimately we are getting one JSON response. So how to parse, how to read that particular JSON object. Okay, so guys, we will cover all these topics, and please concentrate. It's totally different from Selenium, guys. So forget about Selenium in this thing. It's a totally different concept altogether. Okay, and let's start then. So this is the API example we have seen in the last session, that this is a site which is available and it's having a couple of get calls. So let's see, if you call this particular API, this API get API, it says that, okay, this is list of users. It will return number of users are available in the system. So the moment you call this particular API, okay, see, if you're calling this API, you are getting, this is a request URL. Okay, and this is what the response we are getting. So in the response we are getting two things. Response is 200, which is fine, and this particular response we are getting in the form of JSON object. Okay, so this is how we are calling from here. We are clicking on this particular button and then getting this response. But in the actual project, you won't see such kind of, okay, UI. They will not give you any get call or something like that. Just you need to click on a button. You need to actually hit through Postman and then you have to automate it. So how will you automate? Okay, so let's create one Eclipse project, one Maven project in Eclipse, so that we can, first of all, we have to add the dependencies over there. So let me quickly create a project. Click on Maven project and click on next. Click on next. Let's see, my group ID is let's see, org.com dot REST API test. Okay, and artifact ID is, let's see, REST API, something like that I have written. Click on finish. Let me clear the output, and we will see that okay, project will be created over here, where it is, just a minute. No, I think, just a minute, guys, let me. Okay, so you will see that in the left hand side section, the REST API, this particular project I have created. Okay, under this project, src main Java and src test Java will be there, and these are the dummy packages will be there. So I'm going to delete these dummy packages. Just simply click on delete and click on this package also, delete. Okay, and then it will give you one pom.xml file. In this particular pom.xml file, what you have to do, guys, first of all, remove this JUnit. We don't need JUnit. Okay, and we have to add two libraries over here. Okay, the first library is HTTP Client library and HTTP core library. So I'll tell you what are the different libraries. I have already written these dependency over here. This is the first library that you have to add, HTTP Client library. Okay, guys, this is the HTTP Client library. So if you go to Maven, if you go to Google and search HTTP Client Maven, you will get this API. I'll show you guys. Simple, right? HTTP Client Maven. So you will get the complete dependency over here. So the latest version of HTTP client is 4.5.3. Okay, so this is the 4.5.3 HTTP client, the HTTP client library I'm using over here. So by using the HTTP client library, we will automate REST API. So HTTP client 4.5.3. Similarly, what you have to do, you have to use HTTP core library also. We have one more library that is called HTTP core. See, these two libraries we have to use. Okay, these two libraries we have to use. This is HTTP core and the version is 4.4.7. After that, we whatever the response is coming, right? See, the response is coming like this. This is a response and this is a JSON response. So we have to parse this JSON response, right? That how to read this particular JSON response. So to parsing that particular JSON, we have one more JSON parser API. This is the parser API. Okay, guys, JSON API. It's a very simple API. I'll tell you what exactly it does. Okay, so this is a JSON API and this is a version number. Okay, the latest version you can pick from the Google, but this is the API you have to use. And we will write some test cases in TestNG also. Okay, so I'll be using TestNG library also. So let me have one TestNG library also from the different project we can take. Okay, let me copy from here. So TestNG library is very common. Okay, it's not there. Let me check. Hmm, let's see. I'll take TestNG library from different project. From this particular, yeah. So this is a TestNG library I'll be using. Okay, so TestNG, we will write our test cases in TestNG. Okay, guys, and now I'm gonna save it. Simple Control S. So you will see that in your project, in this particular project, all the Maven dependencies got added over here. So I'm not going to add any Selenium jar files, guys, because forget about Selenium in this session. No Selenium, no front-end testing, totally and totally backend, pure backend testing. And see HTTP client library, HTTP core library, JSON library, and TestNG library we have added over here. Okay, so multiple supportive libraries also got added over here. Now with these dependencies, we will start writing our code. Okay, so first src main java, I'll create a package. Let's see, first I'll create a base class because we are designing a framework. So what exactly I'll do, guys? Okay, we'll create a basic base class just like in page object model we created. So I'll create a class and my class name is, let's see, test base class. Okay, and this is the parent class of all the classes. First of all, in this particular base class, what I'll do, I'll create the constructor of this particular base class and then I'll do something over here. I'll tell you what exactly we have to do. But this particular, let's see, REST API, I'll create. Okay, let's see, in src main java REST API, better I'll write some different name. Okay, in the form of com dot. So this package name, let's see, com dot qa dot base. Okay, guys, that will be the better name. In this particular base, we have test base class. Another thing is I'll create one more package. Let's see, my package name is com.qa.configuration. Okay, for the environment variables, that what exactly a URL and everything. And here in this particular class, I'll create a file, one config.properties file. So I'll create one properties file. Okay, because we are designing at the framework level. So properties, let's see, will be by what will be your URL. Okay, so my URL will be, what is my URL, guys? So if you go to, okay, this is my URL, right? This is my URL. So this will be my URL. Okay, and what else we need? After that URL, we need this API slash API also. Okay, slash API users. Okay, this is my service URL. So what is my service URL is equal to this. Okay, better remove this double quotes. It automatically will create it, take the double quotes. Okay, And yeah, so as of now we only need, okay, these things. Okay, so if you remember that in Postman, what exactly we use, this is my API URL, APQR, I mean response QRS dot in, then API, then users slash users. Okay, so we will append both the strings. Okay, and then we will use in the in the form of complete URI. Okay, fine. So what I'll do in the base class, I'll write one constructor so that I can read this particular properties file in this particular constructor. So my constructor is test base. Okay, and for reading the properties, we have already seen how to read the properties, so I have written this code already. Okay, so I'm not going to write this repetitive code again and again. Please check the tutorial that how to read the properties file. And what I'll do in simple base class, we will create one method, I mean one variable, public properties. Okay, this prop variable I'll create so that this prop will be initialized, and this property is available in java.util, so I'll import it. File input stream is available in java.io, so I'll import it from there. And this file not found exception, again import, io exception, again import. So do all the imports, and we know that this particular file is available over here, com.qa.config. Okay, so what I'll do, src main java com, I'll remove this thing. Okay guys, see com slash qa. Okay, src main java, then com qa config, src main java com qa config, and under that config we have config.properties file. So this is my correct path of properties file. Now this prop will be initialized, okay, once we call this test base class constructor. Okay, and in this particular test base class constructor, I'll write some other different variables also that I'll cover later. Okay, now my task is to create my, first of all, REST client. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll simple create a package. Now I have to create my client. Okay, simple client, you will understand. In this particular client, we will create different methods: get method, post method, put and delete methods. Okay, some generic client methods, HTTP methods we will create over there. Okay, it's very simple. Although we, most of the guys are familiar with Selenium, okay, but it's a totally different concept. Here we are not using any Selenium concept, but the framework design will remain same. So let's see, my package name is com.qa.client. Simple. This is my package name. You guys can use any package name. And under this particular client package, we will create a class. Let's see, my class name is REST client. You can take any name, my client or Naveen client, whatever the client name you want to give. But generally we use REST client. Okay, because ultimately we are creating our client so that we can call all these APIs. Okay, guys. Now under in this particular REST client, what we have to do, guys, what we have to do now, couple of things we have to do. So first, what I'll do, I'll create my method. In this particular, we will call first, we will create one get method. Okay, we will create one get method. So how to create the get method? So to get method, if you see that this is a get method, we have this particular we what exactly we need only one URL, and if you send it this request, you will get this particular response over here, right? So we need one get method and then this particular URL. Okay, so how to do that? So what we have to do, simple, I'll create one method, public void, let's see, this is my get method, and this get method simple will access one string, and this string will be my URL. Okay, this string will be my URL. See, try to understand, guys, it's very important. Simple get method will be there. Okay, in this particular method we will write such code so that it will call this particular URL, and we will get this response in the form of JSON object. Okay, now see it carefully. So I have written public void get string URL. Okay, now we have one class in HTTP client library that we have added in the form of in pom.xml file. We have Guys, always remember we have one class. That class name is called HTTP Clients class. So we have to use HTTP Clients dot. We have one method, create default method. What exactly create default method will do? Create default method will create one client connection. Okay, and this create default method will return one closable HTTP client, okay, class object. Okay, closable HTTP client object it will return. So what I'll do, simple, I'll write it over here, that I'll write closable, okay, closable HTTP client object. So object name is, let's see, HTTP client is equal to like this. Okay guys, so as closable HTTP client, this is what, see, this is an abstract class, this is a class, this is a reference variable, and one method is available in HTTP clients. Okay guys, see, this is a class, one method is there, create default class. It will create one HTTP client, default client it will create, a simple client it will create, HTTP client, and the object name is HTTP client object. Okay, now after this, what we have to do, we have one more class that is called HTTP get class. Because for get method, we have HTTP get method, HTTP get class. Okay guys, see, I know these totally different terminologies for you guys. All these class name interfaces are totally new for you because this is not Selenium. So please, you have to understand this thing. Okay, you should know what are the different libraries, methods, these method names, classes we are using over here. Okay, but it's very simple, guys. It looks scary, but it's very simple. Once you do practice for a couple of times, you will be able to understand complete thing. I'm giving you guarantee for that. So for get method, we have one method, HTTP get method. I mean HTTP get class. I'll create the object of this particular HTTP get. So let's see, HTTP get. Simple, I'll write like this. Get is equal to HTTP get, and then I'll pass this particular URL over here. And this HTTP get, okay, HTTP get is, okay, we have to write new operator. Okay, and this we have to import it from here. Okay, so what exactly this method will do, it will create one get connection with this particular URL. Okay, although we are not hitting this URL so far, we have created one HTTP get connection with this particular URL. That's it. Now what we have to do with this particular HTTP client, guys, with this particular HTTP client, okay, I have one method, dot execute method is there. Okay guys, dot execute method is there. This particular execute method, what exactly it will do, what is your request? So this is my request I have created. Okay guys, so always remember, this is my HTTP get request. Okay, so this is my HTTP get request object, I have to pass it over here. Okay, so HTTP get request method, what exactly it will do, let me add with throws declaration. Okay, so this HTTP dot execute, it will like this, we are clicking on the send button, right? Just like it will do the execution. Okay, dot execute means just hit the API. Now which API? This HTTP get API. In this particular object, what we have, this particular URL, same thing. What API? Get API. What is inside this API? This particular URL. What we are doing to do, dot execute means simple send. Same thing we are doing over here. It means what exactly it is doing, it is doing, I'll write simple, hit the URL. Okay, get URL like this. Okay, but now this dot execute method, what exactly it will do, it will return one closable HTTP response object. See, after clicking on this send, what exactly we are getting, this is the response we are getting, right? So we have another class over here that is called closable HTTP response. Okay, if you see, closable HTTP response interface is available, and what exactly we will do, we will store in this particular object like this. We will create one object like this. Okay, so this is a closable HTTP response. This is a reference variable. HTTP client.execute will execute it and it will return one response over here in this particular object. You can write any name over here. Okay. Okay. Now with this closable response, the complete response with the status code and headers and everything, it will be available. The entire thing, the status, the body, okay, whatever the headers we are getting in the form of response, everything will be available in this particular HTTP response, closable HTTP response. Now what we have to do, we have to use this HTTP response and we have to get couple of things. We have to fetch a couple of things from this particular object. So the first thing what we have to do, guys, closable HTTP response dot, we have one method get status line. Okay, so get status line means this particular get status line, and from this particular status line, what do you want? I want get status code. It means 200 or 400 or 500 or 404 or whatever. Okay, guys, so get status response we will get, and we know that get status response is available in the form of integer, right? So what exactly it will do? It will return one integer. So I'll do one thing. I'll store in this particular integer. Well, let's see, my status code is equal to this. Okay, the status code is equal to this, and I'll print it. Let's see, system.out.println. That simple. I'll write status code. I'll write like this, status code. So whatever the status code we are getting, 200, 500, 404, we will fetch from this particular response object. Okay. Now after this status code, we need one more thing. What we need, guys, we need this response string. This is a complete string. We will get a string. Sorry, guys. Okay. What we have to do for that, we need to use one more. See, now here you have to understand, guys. Getting the response code is very easy. Status code is very easy. But to get this particular entire string, how to get it? We have one class that is called entity utils class. Okay, entity utils dot to string method is there, guys. Okay, entity utils dot to string, and what we have to do, we have to pass one entity, but this entity is available in this particular response object. So simple, this response object dot get entity method we will call. So this get entity method will give you one entity. Which entity? This entire entity. And what we have to do, guys, we have to use comma, one format we have to use. See, we have to use UTF-8. This is a character, okay, format. So if you see that toString method is called, it's having two parameter, HTTP entity comma string default character set. So I want that UTF-8 character set I have to get. If any special character or any other things, please correct it and then give me the pure string. Okay, so UTF-8 standard we have to use. Always remember, guys. Now what we have to do, this toString, okay, entity util toString will return one string, right? So what I'll do, I'll store in some string variable. Let's see, my string variable is string. I'll write in like this, response string like this. Okay, so a string response string like this. So this particular complete string, it will convert, this is a JSON, will be converted into a string which will be stored in this particular string. A simple string with double quotes, and the complete string will be like this. It will start double quote from here and ending here. Complete string. Okay, but we don't need a string, we need JSON, right? My target is to get the JSON. So what exactly we will do, this response string. Okay, guys, this is response string. We have to convert this string into JSON object. So for that, we have to use one more class is available. Okay, we have added this JSON dependency, right? In this particular dependency, in this particular library, we have one object. I mean, one class is there. Okay, guys, check it carefully. That is called JSON object. JSON object. Okay. And what exactly it'll do, I'll create the object of JSON object is equal to new JSON object, and we have to pass this particular response string over here. Okay, so what exactly it will do, this response string will be converted into JSON object and it will be stored in this particular JSON object reference variable. It means this complete string will be, it will remove double quote and it will convert the complete JSON object, the key and value pair format, like this: id equal to 1, first name your, last name bluth, avatar is this. A complete JSON object with these brackets and everything will be created by using this particular utility, JSON object utility. Okay, now in this particular, what exactly it will do, what I'll do in this particular JSON response, let's say I give now some name. That name is let's say I'll give response JSON response. Instead of response JSON object, I'll give some proper name. Let's see, response JSON. Okay guys, response JSON name I have given. Fine. Okay, so response JSON will be stored and I'll print it over here, system.out.println. I'll print uh, response JSON from API, something like this, plus response JSON. Okay, and we will print. So we are printing two things here: status code and complete response JSON. This is status code and complete response JSON. Okay, now in the response we get, apart from that, we get these headers also, guys. Okay, some headers also from the server we get. Sometimes we have to validate these headers also in API testing. Okay, so three things we are getting. One is the what exactly the number of users information in the form of JSON object, what is the status code, and number of headers. So here you will see that 9 headers are available. Headers, like what is the content type, the content type means what exactly kind of response you are getting. We are getting application JSON, on which date, this is the date, some tag, I don't know what exactly this tag, what is a server, this is a server name, status is 200, x powered by express. So some information we will be getting over here in the form of response header. So sometimes we have to validate that headers are coming correct or not. Let's see, headers are coming from I mean from indigo.com proper or not. Okay, along with the response. Okay, so sometimes we have to do header testing also. So how to get the header? To get the header, guys, what we have to do, again, header is available in this particular response. Okay, so this response is, okay, having all the things. This response is having a status code, this response is having this JSON string also, and this particular response is having dot. Okay, we have to get the header. So we have one method, get all headers method. Okay, and this get all headers method will return one header array. Can you see that header array? So we will store in this particular header array like this, header okay, array, and let's see, I'll write header array, okay, is equal to this, and this header is available in apache.http, so just import it, and this is the array. Okay guys, so header array we have to use, what we have to do, I'll store all these information. See, this is a key, this is a value, this is a key, this is a value, like this. Okay, so this is a headers array. What I'll do, I'll convert this header array into one hash map, so that, because it's easy to iterate the hash map, but it's easy to use the hash map, because in hash map we will store the value in the form of key and value pair format. So what I'll do, I'll create one hash map object over here, simple like this, hash map. Let's see, header map. Okay, simple, let's see, hash map, and I'll use all headers is equal to new hash map I'll create over here. Okay guys, and this hash map should have key like this, string comma string. Okay guys, it means in this particular hash map I want key and value both should be string format. Okay, so here also I'll write string comma string. Okay guys, if you are not good in Java, then you cannot work with API testing, API automation. Guys, please improve your Java skills. What is hash map and all? I'm not going to cover hash map. Okay, it's a very, very basic thing. What is hash map? Okay, so all headers hash map I have created, and simple, I'll use my one for loop. So I'll iterate this array, and one by one I'll store all the values in this particular hash map. So what, how to do? Simple, I'll use one for loop for, and simple. Okay, header, let's see, this is a header variable I'll create for this particular array, colon, and which header array I have to iterate? This particular headers array. Okay, and in this particular for loop, so this header and this all headers, this is the hash map, and we have one method to put the value. Put, what is your key? My key is, okay, from this particular header. Okay, and this header is of header type, guys, of this particular header type. So my key is header dot get name. So this will be the name. Okay, this is the name, cfray content encoding content type. This will be my name, and what will be my value? My value will be header dot get value. Okay, header dot get value. Simple. And then simple, this is the all headers I'll get. All headers I'll get over here. So once I get this particular all headers out of the for loop, I'll print it system.out.println. I'll print like this, headers array. Okay, plus I'll print this particular all headers array, this particular hash map over here. Okay, so all these three information we got. Okay guys, so my first information is this thing that we are getting status code. Okay, the first thing we are getting, okay, I'll write, the first thing is status code. Okay, from this particular object, closable HTTP response, and after that we are getting what? This is the second thing. We are getting what? We are getting JSON string. Okay, we are getting JSON string, and the third thing what we have, we are getting, the third thing we are getting all headers. Okay, all headers we are getting. See guys, so this is the method that I have created. Okay, just a minute. This is the method I have created. Okay, for the get call. This is the get call, guys. Okay, see guys, if you practice once, you will see. Now I remember all these things, so I can write easily. Okay, because it's a simple line of code, 10 12 lines of code you have to remember. I mean, not remember, but you should know what exactly the method and what will be the sequence one by one. Okay, first hit the API by using .execute method. This method will give you one response object, and from this response object, three things we have to need. Three things we have to fetch: status code, JSON string, and all headers. Simple. It's very, very simple, guys. Very simple programming we have to use. Okay, but don't expect that I'll teach you hash map and all those things in this particular session. Okay, that you have to learn it by your own. I have already covered hash map in my Java tutorials. Please go through it. What is hash map? Okay, now this is the one get method I have created over here. Okay, now what I'll do, I'll create one testng class inside my src test Java. I'll create one first package. Let's see quickly. I'll create package com.qa.test. Okay, click on finish. Then let's see, I'll create a class. Let's see, my class name is get API test class. Okay, get API test, and click on finish. So this will be my testng class, and this particular testng class should return, I mean, it should extend my base class. Okay, and we will import this base class, because in this base class, okay, this is the base class, and this particular base class we have created one constructor over here. Now what I'll do, simple, I'll do one thing here, that I'll create one method at the rate, see, before method. So we know that inside the @before method we will write our method simple public void simple test setup method, and this is available in testng. And what I'll do in setup method, first of all, I'll call the constructor of base class so that my properties will be initialized. So whatever the values are available in properties file, I'll so that I can take those properties. Okay. So first of all, I'll call this base. Okay. So what I'll do, this base class variable, I'll create it over here so that it will be applicable for all the methods like this. So this base class is equal to new test base. Okay, guys. So what exactly it will do, the moment it comes over here, it will call this base class and this constructor will be called, and my properties will be initialized. My prop object will be initialized, and this prop object I'm inheriting over here. Okay, inside this, because I'm extending base class, so I can access prop object over here. Now simple, I'll do one thing, that prop dot get property. What is my property name? My first property name is, this is the URL. Okay, so I'll get this particular URL. Okay, and I'll store in some string variable. Let's see, my string variable is string URL is equal to this. Okay, I'll create another variable, that is string API URL is equal to prop dot get property. What is your API URL key? This is the service URL, right? This is the service URL. So guys, my target is I have to get this particular URL. See, my target is I have to get this particular URL format. Okay, so the exact URL I can write like this. Let's see, this is I'll write like this, service URL, and this is my API URL, and the actual URL I'll create is equal to, okay, I'll append both the things, service URL, okay, plus API URL, okay, service URL plus API URL, right? So this is a service URL is coming from URL. So this is the URL, and see, I'll remove this thing, otherwise it will append, it will create two double slash. Okay, so this is my URL plus service URL, it will become like this. This is my URL and this is my service URL. Okay, so this is my service URL plus API URL, it will give, I'll create one more string URL. Fine, simple. Now what I'll do, I'll have to do, this is my REST client, and I'll call this particular method, get method I'll call. So how to call? I have to create the object of REST client. Okay, now what I'll do, I'll simply create the object of REST client is equal to new REST client. Okay, and CLIENT. Okay, now by using this REST client, I can call that get method dot get. Okay guys, so dot get method, it means I have to pass this particular URL. Yes, and this get method is returning, is throwing exception, so obviously I have to add this particular exception over here, add throws declaration over here. Okay, so REST client dot get method, it will call this particular method, and then it will print status code. It will come over here. Okay, the URL we are passing, this particular URL. Okay, this particular URL will be passed over here, and then it will call this get method, and then it will call this get method. It will pass this URL over here, it will execute this URL this request, get the response, and from the response we are okay fetching these three information. Okay, so let's debug this code. Okay, so what exactly I'll do, I'll come over there and I'll put a debugger over here on line number 20, and then we will call this particular. Okay, now what we have to do, guys, so this is a simple @before method I have used, and entire code I have written over here. No, we should not do that. So what I'll do, instead of this thing, I'll create one test case over here, @test. Okay, because we are writing testng, so better we should write test cases. Let's see, public void my get test. Okay, get test method is there, and import it from test.ng. Okay guys, and this service URL, everything I have to create global variable so that I can use in test method also. Okay, like this. And okay, this is my global variable, I mean the class variable, and this is my API URL like this. And again, this the URL also I have to use like this so that it will be applicable for all the test cases, guys. Okay, and what I'll do, so we are creating this URL over here. Okay, now what I'll do, this particular thing I'll remove from here, I'll write over here. I'll simply create the API client, REST client, and then I'll call the get method over here, and then simple add throws declaration over here. In this particular add thread before method, only the prerequisites, the only precondition things we are defining. What else we need? I need service URL. Okay, I need service URL. That's it. But this is my get test method. Okay, so let's see get. I'll write more proper get API test. Create the REST client, and the REST client also, guys, I'll create so that this common REST client we will be using. Oh, sorry, REST client like this, and like this. Okay, so REST client is equal to new REST client and dot get method, and this URL means this particular URL. So the first this method will be called, setup method will be called, this URL will be initialized with these two variables. So automatically this URL, this global variable will be initialized, and the same global variable I'm using over here. So it will come over here, get, it will call this particular method, it will do all those stuff and print on the console. Okay, now let's run this code in the debug mode. So right click and debug as test.ng. So fine, so it will stop over here. Why? Because we have put the debugger over here, and if you see the console, so far it's fine. Now one by one we will run. So line by line we have to press F6, or either you can click on this icon. So it's creating HTTP client by using create default. So if you mouse over, see the client object has been initialized like this. Again we will run this line. Now the what is the URL is going on. If you mouse over, see this is the URL, this is my expectation. Sorry. Okay, / request rest dot in API URS, I mean API users, this is the same thing. Okay, this is my URL, so URL is coming over here correctly, and then it will execute this particular request. Okay, HTTP get request, and the complete response will be stored over here. So see, it's still executing, so let's wait. So yes, so if you see that complete response is coming over here, see 200. Okay, the complete full response is coming over here, and from this particular response, this response is a combination of three things, guys. What is your status code, what is your body, and what are your headers, and we have to fetch one by one all the values. Okay, so the status code we are getting from this, so let's execute and we will print. See, the status code is 200, so which is fine. Status code is we are getting 200, absolutely fine. And then we will get the JSON string. Okay, see, this is a JSON string. If you see from here to here, complete JSON string we are getting. Okay, I'll tell you how to read this JSON string. Then get all the headers one by one. Okay, so there are a number of headers. So for loop will be executed, let's say 7 to 8 times. CM, and all the headers, okay, got printed over here, and then run full the program, and the program is over. Now see the output, guys. This is a pure API testing output we are getting. Test case got passed. Console output is this. One test case got executed, no failure, everything got passed. And we are getting 200 response code, right? 200 response code, which is fine. What is your body? This is your body, right? And this is the response body we are getting from here to here. Although this is the Eclipse console, it will print the entire JSON in a single line. Okay, so if you just copy this, the entire JSON, and what you do, you go to one site that is called jasonlint.com or JSON validator. Any JSON validator you can open, jasonlint.com, and then press over, copy paste this particular thing and click on validate JSON. You will get the complete JSON over here. Now you can compare this JSON. Okay, you can compare this JSON with Postman output. How many attributes are there? These four attributes. Sorry guys. Page, per page, total, and total pages. See, page, per page, total, and okay, the sequence will be different. Doesn't matter. In JSON, sequence doesn't matter, guys. So these two objects are available here, and okay, and these two objects are on top of that. And we have one data array. So data, this square bracket means array. It means one data array is there and three values, three set is there. This is the first set, second set, and third set. Okay, Bluth George ID equal to 1. See, Bluth George ID equal to 1 and 128.jpg for avatar. 128.jpg for avatar. Same thing we are getting for Weaver, a Weaver ID to Janet. See, a Weaver ID to Janet, and Emma Wong ID3. Okay, Emma Wong ID3. So we are getting, see, sequence doesn't matter. Through Java client, through code, sequence is coming in a different form, but ultimately everything is available inside a data object, which is fine. And above the data object is starting here and ending here. Okay, so these two attributes, if you write over here or over here, that doesn't matter, guys. Like this, although this is the correct JSON. Okay, like this. Okay, so this is the complete JSON we are getting, although maybe missing one comma. So let it be like this only. Sorry. Okay, so this is a JSON. Let me copy paste again this so that we will get full. If you are getting this green color, it means this is a valid JSON. Fine. So in the console, we will see that we are getting the proper response, okay, from the object. And these are the headers. So if you see, guys, how many headers are there? See, trans encoding equal to chunked, server equal to this, Cloudflare ng inx. If you see the headers, 9 headers are there. See, uh, see, the server is Cloudflex ng inx. E tag equal to this. Okay, cfray is equal to this. Cfray is equal to this hyphen lhr. Okay, see, cfray is equal to hyphen lhr. So complete access control equal to allow origin. Okay, allow origin like this. Okay, maybe some extra we are getting over there. Okay, here we are getting some extra headers also. So the complete like okay, some other cookies values and everything in the form of response we are getting. See, content type equal to application JS. See, we are getting content type also, content type application JSON, and char set equal to UTF-8, char set equal to UTF-8, and X powered by Express, powered by Express. Okay, so complete response header also we are getting. Okay, see, this is a get call automation, simple. Now you can write n number of test cases over here by passing the wrong URL, wrong password, and everything. Okay, and you can, I'll tell you how to write assertions and everything. This is a very simple method we have created, but the method format will be same. Okay, we can write some assertions over there that okay, if you are getting 200 code, then return 200, something like that. So we will do such kind of stuff over there, don't worry. We will modify this particular code, but this is just to show you guys that okay, this is what we have to write, okay, in the form of get call, post, and put call. So this is the crux, this is the crux. Okay, hit the API, create the connection, hit the API, create the request and hit the request. Simple. And get the response, and from this response, fetch all the information and then use it. Simple, and print on the console and just write your test cases like that. Okay, so this is a very basic thing I have told you. In the next session, I'll tell you that, okay, with headers also and with post call also, how can we do that? Okay, I'm not going to cover headers, otherwise you will be confused. So just practice that how to call the get call. Okay, how to call the get call without headers. I'm not passing any headers, guys, over here. Simple get call with this request with the URL I'm passing. In the next session, I'll tell you hit the get call with the URL as well as headers, request headers. Okay, so that's all for today, guys. I know it's a little difficult for you guys. Why? Because it's kind of very different thing from Selenium. Okay, first of all, you need to improve your coding skills, and you should know that, okay, what are the different libraries, and you should know how. First of all, manually try it. Check how exactly APIs are working. Okay, with the help of these things, Postman and all, and then move it to coding part. So that's why I told you the first architecture first, the design of the REST API and difference between SOAP and REST and the complete client server architecture. I told you what is get call, what is post and put and delete call. Now you can imagine that if I start directly with this particular class, you I'm giving you guarantee that you won't be able to understand anything, right? So that's the importance of, okay, the first two sessions. Okay, so these two sessions, guys, please go through these two sessions. What is REST API, Web Services Automation Part 1 and Web Services Automation Part 2. You will see that what is RESTful API design and everything. Okay, first these two sessions, guys, then only please, okay, go through this particular session, then jump to the coding part. Otherwise, you won't be able to understand anything. It will be a bouncer for you guys. Okay, so that's all for today. Please again subscribe to the channel, share the videos, like it and unlike it. If you don't like this particular video, if you have any suggestions, please, okay, all the queries and everything, please write down in the comment section. Okay, definitely I'll try to reply back. But guys, please practice this. REST API automation is really, really important. Okay, thank you so much, guys. Thanks a lot.